Hello, hello, and welcome to Columbia Bounty Fishing. My name's Brandon, and these are my adventures chasing pikeminnow bounty fish on the lower Columbia. It's Monday afternoon. I have come down with my good luck charm, and instead of jumping right into fishing, we met up with some friends and went and did some rock hounding. Southwest Washington has amazing stuff to be found. Anyway.
Whoa!
It's a pretty dense concentration of tadpoles.
Anyway, good stuff was found, but you're not here for rocks, you're here for fish. We were so wiped Monday night, we did not get any fishing in. We just went to sleep. And Tuesday morning is when the whole show started. I got a later start than I intended, and even with that considered, my partner in crime still could not rouse themselves, decided sleep is more important than fish. So it's just me for the first part of the video here. This is about a 1.5 minute long shot. I realize it's static, it doesn't move, it might be a little boring, but it's kind of fascinating when you realize this was my first 30 minutes of the trip. The bite was already on when I got up, and luckily enough, I started catching them right off the bat on night crawlers. You probably remember back in May and June, I was frequently using eggs, liver, milt, bloodline, all the best stuff I could get from salmon, basically left over from the fall fishing I did. And when that runs out, you got to kind of hustle and it gets a little difficult to find bait. But when this magic part of the year hits every summer, this will still work, but you don't have to worry about it. Rejoice, my friends, for nightcrawler season is upon us once again. There is a seasonal change that occurs every summer in my area right around the early part of July, and the juvenile fish move up into the system and the fishery completely changes.
Once again, down here in Southwest Washington, chasing pikeminnow, trying to turn things around. A couple of my friends had a very hot bite earlier today. That was encouraging to hear, hoping we can get into some. And by we, I'm not just saying you and me. I brought my good luck charm along with me this trip. My son's along. This evening bring me some better luck than I've been having lately. Last couple of trips, numbers were down, fishing was tough. Conditions are different today. Instead of 50s and rain like I've been greeted with every other trip, it's 86 and there's hardly a cloud in the sky. So let's hope these changes can bring some number changes.
Now, definitely the numbers had already changed for me. Now that my son was up and joined me, unfortunately it was later in the morning, it was getting hot, and the bite had died off. So I did convince him after a few fish that we ought to leave and find some deeper water. And we did. And we kept finding a few fish here and there. Here's kind of my midday check-in. Now, it was getting into early afternoon, and the bite was definitely slowing down. Again, still fish here and there, not a lot, but there was still a few biters, which was more of the summer pattern, which I know you heard me talk about in the last few videos. And I promise, give me a minute here, bear with me, I am going to explain exactly what I mean by the summer pattern. So we moved around for a little bit, and as evening started to approach, I had a spot in mind that I really wanted to check out.
Well, apparently I'm not as good about talking to the camera when I have somebody else to talk to, so I haven't checked in much the last 12, 14 hours or so. We've been hopping around, trying out some different spots. Actually getting a few fish during the daytime, which is not bad. And bite this evening has not been horrible, but tide got really, really low at the last spot we were at, so we hopped over here to check this spot out, and nothing thus far, but we'll see what happens. The evening's young. I had this little otter come swimming by just to show off the fact that apparently he could catch pikeminnow, even if I wasn't. Now, we can all agree that sunsets are beautiful, but did you see that? Yeah, right over there on the right-hand side, I had a school of fish that were feeding actively. And I watched them for about 15, 20 minutes, and they didn't move, meaning something was holding them there.
And the way they were feeding, I had to assume something was also holding bait there. Now, this is exactly what I look for when I'm out in my kayak and I'm trying to find new spots. An area that not just has fish, but has a very specific area that has fish and they're not moving from it. This is exactly when I would like to ease up above them in my kayak, drop anchor, and free line night crawlers. I'll toss them out 20 or 30 feet and just give them slack and let them drift right through the school. I have had afternoons, evenings when I've caught feeding schools like this and pulled 40 or 50 fish in a matter of hours. It can be outstanding.
Well, I was getting no love on the bottom at all, and there was fish jumping everywhere. So I went old school, pulled out a bobber, and have actually picked up a couple floating worms around these grass beds. So it's getting too dark to see. Going to make a move here shortly and check back in at the next spot. Well, Mr. Kai and I are back at it once again. This is our third stop of the evening. Picking up a few fish here and there, but no real good bites, so we're still moving, looking for some consistency.
That is a bite. Do you want me to get that?
I got it.
Okay.
Here, you hold the camera. It's recording. Take it.
Well, I hope he's still there. That was quite a bite.
Fish.
Tried to take the pole.
Now, unfortunately for my son, he was not getting to experience a bite like I had early in the morning that morning. But when you're 13 and you're catching a fish every 5 to 10 minutes, that's still darn good fun. Heck, when you're in your mid-40s or probably any age, if you like fishing, 5 or 10 fish an hour, that's fun fishing. And to be perfectly honest, after the way my last couple of trips have gone, I was starting to second guess myself, starting to question my tactics, my methods. It's the first time in 5 years I haven't seen a year after year improvement. But this night really made me think that, yeah, I still know what I'm doing. And my son and I had an absolute ball. He even got the rare experience of feeling what it feels like to be stalked by the beaver. There goes the beaver right there. He decided to camp out in the bush right next to us, and for the next half hour or so, every few minutes there'd be a little grunt or a little snort. You'd look over, and there would be eyeballs glowing at you in the bush. You'd hit him with the light and they'd disappear. I tried to get the shot, it just couldn't, but we had fun. And to honor my son's love of video games, we even went on a midnight side quest. When we got back to the fishing hole after our little midnight adventure, we found the tide had almost stopped and the bite had slowed way down. The temperature was also starting to drop. You're starting to see some whiffs of fog developing out there on the water, and we definitely put our sleeves on at this point.
He broke off.
Oh, he got off?
You saw the bend, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe not. No.
Whoop.
The bend. I think he broke off and then snagged me on some grass.
Yep. Unfortunately, we've hit slack tide. I'm about to lose my son. I think he started to nod off over there. And the bite has slowed down to almost nothing.
Now, every so often that breeze would quit, which was nice at first because the breeze had some teeth coming down the canyon. But once it got calm, the bugs came out en masse. Now here you can see, right as the breeze picks up, the bugs disappear and the fog starts building again, just from the temperature differential.
I'm gonna go to bed now. Tell me once the tide changes if the fishing gets good. Because if the fishing's better than this, I'll definitely go.
Well, the more I thought about it, the more I realized I did get a late start to the day, but I was going to get a real early start tomorrow, so I decided my son had a point, let's just get some sleep. Well, I managed to get myself functioning by 4 a.m. Wednesday morning and was rewarded with not a fish until 6 a.m. But at 6 a.m., it kicked off. Now, this is another one of those hyperlapse shots where I condense a half hour of fishing into a 1-minute shot, just to show you the chaos and the fun that it can be when you end up on a hot bite. And this is classic summer fishing. It's the summer pattern that I've been talking about. And what I mean by the summer pattern is when the season kicks off in May and into the middle of June when the spawn earnestly starts, you're dealing with spawning fish. They're larger fish, and the meatier baits like eggs and liver, those tend to work a lot better than night crawlers. But we get this shift in early July where those guys are done spawning, they kind of disappear and the juvenile fish move up. And the juvenile fish are still very much keyed in on feeding on invertebrates. So you can go pick up your night crawlers, pinch them all in half and catch one fish and the tub of night crawlers is paid for. I love this time of year. I walk into Walmart and I buy 10 tubs of night crawlers and people look at me like I'm crazy. This particular shot right here, you see me cast out right there. Just to show how hot the bite was, this was one just complete, unedited shot. There was 60 seconds in the middle where I sped it up so you don't have to watch that whole part, but this was literally 90 seconds from cast to fish, and I had a pretty good stretch of fishing like this. Unfortunately for my good luck charm, he was still sleepy, and even though I went and woke him up multiple times, he just couldn't quite get out of bed. So he missed this once again. But I did eventually get him up and we did have some fun fishing and it was a fantastic day. Anyway, here I am landing the fish that you just saw me toss it out there less than a minute ago. It was a fun morning and it was the summer pattern that I've been looking for.
And that's how quick the bites have been coming today.
So here's what I like to do when I find these juveniles moving up into the system. And yes, when I say juveniles, they're not all keepers. There are some short fish around, but most of these fish were running about 8.5 to 10 inches, so most of them were keepers. But what I like to do is I use a long leader, small hook, and half a night crawler. On my slider, I put about, honestly, a 1/4 ounce, maybe a 1/3 ounce at most. I use a tiny little weight. I toss it out, and I like to find either a dock or a point or something that either keeps me elevated or sticks me out so I can get out just past the weed line and let that current gently drift your bait downriver, and it tucks up against the outside edge of the weed line. And that's it. Right now, I just hit different weed patches to figure out where they're holding. And honestly, everywhere we went was holding some fish. It was just a couple of the spots tended to be holding more. And that's what we did. We tossed out our little light rigs and just brought in fish after fish. It was exactly what I've been waiting for the last 2 weeks. And not only was this my best trip of the year so far, it was also my son's first trip getting out pikeminnow fishing with me this summer, which made the whole experience that much more memorable, special. It was just a great morning. And I promise he does get up and join me here shortly. He gets his fair share of fish. And if you're wondering, we do keep our fish separate. He has his own cooler. He turns in his own fish. And as just a little side note for those of you who made it this far in the video, if you haven't subscribed, this would be a great time to think about doing it. For the next 6-7 weeks, I'm going to be doing weekly trips and weekly videos, so my videos will have real-time application to your fishing program. Now, this particular spot we've been fishing is not very deep. At high tide, it's about 10 feet deep out there in front of us, which is just fine. But as that tide starts to drop and you start getting down to 6, 5, 4 feet, those fish start getting scarce, especially as the sun starts coming out and burning off clouds like it's doing right now. When that first cloud break happened and the first blast of sunlight hit the water, it was like somebody flipped a switch and my bites got cut in half. I was still getting them, but instead of every 2, 3, 4 minutes, they started becoming every 5, 6, 7 minutes. And it's kind of funny, now that we're in July, I have to deal with the fact that once that sun comes out and hits you, that temperature jumps real quick. That big heavy hoodie was getting stifling. It was time for a quick wardrobe change. Now about this time, I heard the gentle crunch of tires slowly creeping up the gravel behind us. And I thought, uh-oh, because I don't like to catch fish when people are watching, because I don't necessarily want the world to know I catch fish in the spots I catch fish. The car has pulled up and stopped now, and I'm thinking, okay, if you get a bite, just don't set the hook. Don't, oh, yeah, couldn't help myself. And unbeknownst to me, it's not just somebody pulling up and randomly stopping, they're watching to see what I'm doing, of course. And I guess it was just life presenting me the opportunity to make a new buddy.
Catching anything? Oh, by golly, you did get one.
Time for a little mid-morning check. Yep. That wasn't a bad session. Good morning, sunshine. No? Is it not a good morning?
No, actually, no, it's not.
Okay. Is he still there? Why, yes. Yes, he is. Nice. The fish are still moving.
And the weight got entangled.
Nice.
There you go, Dad.
Thank you, sir. Breaking a brand new cooler. That's how many fish we got. $63.
That's a lot of fish.
That's a lot of fish. No wonder my ice chest broke.
Yeah.
Well, once again, 2 of my fish were deemed short, so we got credit for 61. That is a fantastic day of fishing. I knew bringing my son along was going to help. He is my good luck charm. Kept me company, kept my spirits up. We had a good trip. We are going to come back next week and do this again. Hopefully find the same numbers. And we hope you join us. This is Brandon, my son Kai. We are Columbia Bounty Fishing. Hope to see you soon. Now behold, as I put all that money into the gas tank to keep the car running.
And I know I mentioned it earlier, but I got to give myself one more shameless plug. For the next 6 to 8 weeks, I am doing weekly trips and weekly videos. My videos will be 2 days behind my fishing trips for the next few weeks. So I honestly have to believe that there are some gems hidden in these videos that you can sniff out, and they're going to help you catch more fish when you get out. And on that note, I hope you get out as often as you can. I'll see you out there.